Starfield's a good game, and I really wish people would stop pretending like it isn't.
This is where we belong.
What's up? I'm Bon, and today I want to talk about Starfield, and I want to give my perspective on it. What I want to start off with is, if you don't like Starfield, that's fine. I get it. It has lots of dated mechanics. Bethesda definitely didn't bring their formula up to snuff. I understand. But what I want to talk about is why I really, really liked Starfield, and I still do, and why I'm still debating on whether it's my second or third favorite game this year. Baldur's Gate 3 is my game of the year. Blew my mind. Still love it. Can't wait to play it again. But I feel the same about Starfield. Just different. That comparison, we're not getting into today. There's not a chance I'm touching that. And then a video that isn't only about that, we'll get to it. What I do want to talk about, though, is to at least just offer a perspective that is different. And it's not from someone who is like a 100% fanboy. I'm a little bit of an Xbox and Bethesda fanboy, so maybe I don't have any credibility there. But here's why I think Starfield is at least a really good game, and for me, an amazing game. So, like I said before, I understand the issues with how Bethesda, didn't really bring everything up to snuff. The animations, the even the conversation systems, and just all of that stuff. I understand. But what happened with me with that game is I think I just happened to play it the exact way that ended up being really exciting for me, because I kind of accidentally did all the best stuff in the game and didn't do all of the stuff that was a drag. Let me explain. When I played Starfield, it came out, I took a couple days off work, and I played it as soon as it released, and it was awesome. I loved it. And the way I played Starfield was I jumped in, I played the first few kind of missions that were the main storyline. Then I went straight into the UC Vanguard side quest chain. And in the middle of that, I romanced Sarah, and I got stuck doing a bunch of random stuff during that side quest line. And I really didn't advance in the main quest line hardly at all until I finished the UC Vanguard quest line. I won't talk about details of it in case you don't want spoilers, but in my opinion, it's the best quest line in the whole game, and depending on how you feel about the main quest line, is probably it maybe could have been the main storyline of the game, in my opinion. And I think the reason that I love the game so much is because I enjoyed the way the game started. I love the UC Vanguard quest line, and it's extensive. It's big, at least it felt like it was. And in the middle of that is when I got into romancing Sarah and going through that whole process, where I'll admit that, I'm not going to say that I think Sarah's romance is better than any of my favorite Mass Effect ones or any other game. But there was something about it that I did like a lot. And I really liked her kind of personal quest line. And I liked a lot of that stuff. And I even think that their romance system actually does do some things that I hope that other games take note of. And some of the small things, like the ability to flirt and things like that, but not all the time. And having to make up and things like that. But anyways. And what happened was I finished the UC Vanguard questline, which I loved. I thought it was great. It was a lot of fun. And I want to do it again because there's lots of choices you can make. But then what happened is I dove into the main quest. And I still did some side stuff. But what happened was that I did a bunch of side missions. And one I really liked. The one where you find the ship from the original Earth, one of those ships that, has been just wandering for generations until, you stumble upon them and they have a predicament. and the random encounters you have in space and things like that. One of my favorite moments was there was a moon that I just landed on it to check it out. And I went down into this basement garage thing and found a voice comm. And it was one of the most heartfelt, emotional voice comm moments I've ever had in a game. It was, I mean, I was in tears when I heard it. It was, very personal to me. I made a whole YouTube video on it that you can check out, if you search for it. And I did that, and I did the main quest line, and I didn't do most of the other side stuff. I didn't do, the cowboy stuff. I didn't do the pirate stuff. I didn't do the cyberpunk, whatever world, neon stuff. And I still was at like 100 hours when I finished this main quest line, right? And then without getting into more spoilers, the main quest line happens, you end it, and you get to make a choice at the end of the game. And it's basically to go to New Game Plus, which is a whole different story. I've actually never done it, which I'll get back to. Or you can refuse the New Game Plus, and there's implications to that, which I loved. It was great. It felt like this rebirth, kind of, but it wasn't. And then I played for another 100 hours. And admittedly, I didn't like the Cowboy quest line. I didn't like the neon cyberpunky quest line. I thought that was awful, in fact. I didn't like most of the things I did after I finished the game. And had I have done all those things, if I had done any of those first, instead of the UC Vanguard quest line, if I had, I could have had a bad experience with Starfield, and I would still be one of those people who I see every day bringing up Starfield and crapping on it, seemingly for no reason other than just to exercise some of their own demons. I don't really get it, but to each their own. If that's your thing, then that's fine. But I just, it pains on me because it bums me out that these people didn't have the same experience I did. But it makes me happy that I kind of accidentally had the best experience I think I could possibly have with the game. I think I did all of the best stuff in my first playthrough in the right order on accident. And it's why when I see this game being rated 9.5, 10 out of 10 by some of those initial reviews, I was like, yeah, I get it. This game, and not to mention that there are, for as many things as there are outdated and things like that, the combat and just the general aesthetic and the design of the world, and the ships and the buildings, and it looks great. It looks so good. And it deserves credit for those things as much as it deserves criticism for the things it doesn't do well. I understand why people don't like it. I understand that some people, it didn't grab them. I think I've noticed that a lot of the people who seem to have not liked it, I honestly don't think they gave it a real chance. And I think that is understandable in various circumstances. You see so many people who played Baldur's Gate 3 before they played Starfield and were hoping for a similar experience. I think that's kind of insane because they're just so different. They're just such different games despite both being RPGs. But it's fine. I understand. I get it. I promise. Where I came out loving both games for very different reasons. I kind of talk about how, I really love the combat and some of the moments and the music and stuff of Starfield, where obviously I love, the character interactions and the exploration and stuff of Baldur's Gate 3, but there's things I don't like about either game as well, but they're still a couple of my favorite games of the year. I don't really know why I wanted to make this video. Maybe it's because I didn't have time to do anything else, but I guess the final message I want to get out there is that if you like Starfield, you're not the only one. I know it may seem like it sometimes. All of the video retrospectives and all of the posts I see on Twitter and even in my own Discord, it feels so negative, and there's definitely things Bethesda needs to learn and change. But I think it's weird that this game gets talked about as if it was like an abject failure, a 1 out of 10 game, when, you know, it's had 13 plus million players. Those people have averaged 40 hours per player. That's a lot. That's enough to finish the main quest line for most people. It does a lot of things really well. And I think if you don't like the game, that's totally fine. I think it's reasonable to expect people to like maybe try to have a balanced view on it though. Surely there was something you liked about it, and it wouldn't hurt to maybe express that too. Or not. It's a free world. Do whatever you want. I just wanted to make this video for anyone who's looking for someone who really liked Starfield despite its flaws. You're not alone. I liked it too, and it's okay to like Starfield. That's all I have for this one. If you like Starfield, if you like video game news and videos and speculation, all of that stuff, please subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below with what you think. If you're hyper toxic and negative, I'm just going to boot you from the channel. I'll never see your comments again. But if you have some legitimate criticism, or if you also like the game, let me know down in the comments. You can find me as Bond Diesel all over the place on Twitch and Twitter and all the social media places. And I have two video game podcasts, a weekly podcast called the Bonfire Podcast. It's all about news, speculation, all of that. And then the Mass Effect Hypecast, which is focused on the next Mass Effect game. It's a monthly-ish podcast, and I love doing it. So please go check it out on all major podcast platforms and right here on this YouTube channel. That's all I have for this one. So until next time.